right, everyone, here we are live. This is Series 4, Episode 5. That means we only have one more week and we go on hiatus again. And I am sitting here fiddly-diddling with my camera because somehow it got moved on my laptop. All right, so we have been working through topics that interrelate with the topics we've done in the past. This one I don't believe I've actually covered in any detail whatsoever, and it's the topic of weaknesses and opportunities. And I am sure some of you have heard the expression, it's not a weakness, it's an opportunity. Well, you know me, I'm gonna make it real. So let's get real. There are things that truly are weaknesses. Not everything is an opportunity. I could say that one more time, and then we could just end the live at 1 minute, 10 seconds. But I'm going to dig into this a little more deeply for those of you that are sitting there going, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Of course, it's an opportunity. You can change every frown into a smile. Okay, well, we're not turning frowns into smiles today. We're going to talk about these things. And it's another one of those things that kind of sticks with me, that because it's the potential of being like a buzzword or a buzz phrase. Oh, every weakness can be an opportunity, and you get coaches in there and they got their pom-poms out and they're telling you, no, we don't have any weaknesses. We only have chances to improve. Sometimes a weakness is just a weakness, folks. So let's dig into that. First of all, as leaders, we have a responsibility to recognize weaknesses in ourselves, but also in the organization, in the structure, in the strategy, in the mission, on the culture. And if we do not pay attention to those weaknesses as leaders, that's on us, and we have to take that responsibility. You can't sugarcoat them away. You can't pretend they're not there. You can't be an ostrich with your head in the sand. And you can't have an ego so big that you don't recognize what's happening around you, and quite frankly, then your ego is a giant weakness. So I was reading an article the other day from MIT Sloan Management Review, and it's a quite old article, but it was actually about this topic of weaknesses and opportunities. And they gave an example of a coach who was doing a SWOT analysis with the team. So you guys know what SWOT is: strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And this person kind of was doing that whole weaknesses or opportunities things, and they ended up with bad brand design, which that's a weakness. And they kind of sugarcoated it and made it an opportunity. If you have bad brand design and that brand is your company, you've got a serious problem. And it's not an opportunity, because changing your brand is a huge, monumental thing. But more importantly, for most of you who watch my videos, you're working with teams. And there are cases where one person's weakness is another person's strength, and those things play off of each other and they work really well together at making the whole team. And then there are points in time when the weakness is almost insurmountable, and there needs to be a different approach. If you have a team, for example, if you're creating a product and you don't have anybody on the team who has strong design skills, and you're creating a product which has a visible user interface, user customer experience, and you don't have anybody with any design experience, that is a weakness that could potentially mean you're not going to deliver the best value to your customers because you don't understand the inherent characteristics of design. So that is a weakness that doesn't just magically become a smiley opportunity because you don't have the skills on your team that you need to make the changes. And you're at risk of building a product that doesn't bring the maximum value. So yes, you can correct that weakness by adding someone to the team that has those skills or changing up the makeup of the team if you have the budget to do that, if you have the skills available. If it's a long hiring process and you've got a product that you're trying to get out the door in 3 months, that's not likely going to get corrected very quickly because hiring takes time and design kind of comes at the beginning of the process cycle for a product. So please do not sugarcoat weaknesses, sweep them under the carpet, and pretend it's no big deal because we're going to be happy about this. That is just not where I want you all to be. If you are looking at weaknesses, you also have to recognize not all things are created equal. For example, your team may have a weakness due to schedules. Maybe your customer is in a different time zone than your team, and you have a problem with availability. That is very different in the weakness column than we don't have the right skill sets to build the product. Because schedules can be adjusted. People can have new times that they're reporting. You can do all kinds of exercises, which I have spoken about, to change when people are available and how people work. You can negotiate with your customer on what that looks like. But if you don't have the skills you need to create the product, that's a whole different ballgame. If one of your weaknesses is you don't have the budget, that's not an opportunity unless you're all going to become grant writers and you're going to go try to find funding somewhere. So please don't lump them all together and say, oh, all weaknesses are the same, all solutions are the same, all weaknesses can become opportunities. Yes, some weaknesses can be turned into opportunities. If the team is thinking long range and they're thinking about something coming up where they might need to know Java, and I know I'm speaking very technically today, they might need to know Java, and some people have like a little bit of experience, but nobody's really thoroughly, trained and thoroughly experienced in it. The team can make a commitment over the period of time in front of them to sharpen their Java skills, and that is an opportunity for the team to learn as a whole and to increase their skills, which only makes them more marketable for product creation in the future. So yes, there are chances, but notice I said that was long range. So you're not saying today, oh, we don't have Java skills, tomorrow we're going to have them. Or we don't have Java skills and tomorrow we have to have them. You're saying long range, down the road, we know we're going to need this and we're going to investigate it. Another example would be maybe databases. Maybe you want to go to a NoSQL type of structure and you're not really well versed in that. Doesn't stop you from building the product. There are lots of different database structures you can use that your team will be well versed in, but they can take the time as an opportunity to learn new skills and again, enhance what they can do. So think about it. What have you experienced with yourself that's a weakness that can be turned into an opportunity, and what's truly a weakness? And I think we put a lot of negativity on the word weakness. We say, we do interviews and we say, tell us what your 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses are. Well, it's a little bit like the talk that I'm about to do coming up in the next hour about how others perceive you. We have core strengths, and those have an opposite that can become an allergy or a weakness if we're not aware of them. And sometimes, for example, the fact that I am not a patient person, that can be a weakness on Monday because of what I have to deal with. And on Tuesday, it can work to my benefit because I didn't stop pushing to get what I needed and I really needed it. So there's lots of different ways that we can look at this. There are weaknesses where if we have the time, we can turn them around and use it as a learning opportunity. There are weaknesses that are, part of our personality. We have to know that that's kind of our, kryptonite, if you will, and be aware of it when we work with other people. And then there are things that they are weaknesses. They are corporate weaknesses, they are strategic weaknesses, and they don't get to be color coded into something else and put into a different category just so we can turn in our SWOT analysis and not have any weaknesses. Those things, then we have to do some strategic planning and think about how we're going to overcome them. So if we have a budget problem, or we have a flaw in our strategic mission, or we've missed a business development cycle and not gotten the work that we needed, or whatever it might be, those big things, we have to first recognize that we have those weaknesses, and then we need to figure out solutions. Notice I did not say opportunities. We have to figure out solutions to mitigate those weaknesses and those threats. So don't start throwing around the buzzwords. Don't start putting on the smiley face and making everything all cheerful and sunny and whatever. Be very realistic about, first of all, what is the depth and the severity of the weakness? And then when do we really need to apply our energy to mitigating those weaknesses or those threats so that they don't become a real problem with our business? So, short session today. Next week, we're going to be talking about authentic language and how others hear us and read us, and what we can do about that. And I know I've spoken on that topic before, but we're going to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And I'll give you a few more practical things that you can use. And then we're going to go on hiatus again for the lives and the YouTube channel videos. So if you have any ideas of things that you would like me or the team, because wouldn't you guys like to see people other than me? I think so. See if I can convince the team to go on camera and come up with series 5. And I don't know if we'll get that in before summer or not. We'll give it a try. But in the meantime, look back through the series of videos. Surely send us your suggestions on what you would like us to present. And I'm going to go get ready to do a talk on how others perceive you and the impact that has on your work. So great talking with everybody today. And I will see you next week for the last episode. Bye, everybody.